Hi, I'm Matthew from Matthew's Mazes here in Chicago. This summer I will be drawing the world's largest hand-drawn maze, using the Chicago Loop and Lakefront for the subject matter. I wanted to partner this project with a website I've been using quite a bit recently, and that site is impossible.com. Impossible.com lets me mix two things that matter quite a bit to me, that is creativity and building a sense of community. To tell us more about Impossible.com, its founder, Lily Cole, was kind enough to answer some questions for us from London.
Hey Chicago, I'm Lily. I'm very happy to be talking to you guys. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, I'm in London right now. I am going to talk to you about Impossible, which very kindly Matthew has offered to bring to the local community here with you. Impossible is a social network designed to try and encourage a culture of giving. So it connects people peer-to-peer to do things for each other for free. People can post wishes of things that they might want to offer or they might want to ask for, and then you can see other people's wishes around you, around the world, and hopefully find somebody to connect with.
How does Impossible connect the community in a unique way?
It is a statistic that in London the average person knows one neighbour. So what we're trying to do with Impossible is to surface the possibilities essentially with the people around you, so that you might discover another neighbour. You might discover a neighbour who has something that they can give you or help you with, and vice versa. The gift economy, which is the principle behind it, is such that the idea of paying it forward, of doing things without an explicit expectation of return. And it's understood that every time you do that, you create a subtle relationship with that person. So if you imagine doing that at scale, you create social cohesion, you create community, and hopefully you feel a bit more connected to the world around you.
For those who haven't heard of a gift economy, what is it and how does it work?
A gift economy is different to exchange paradigms. The most obvious exchange paradigm is money. In exchange paradigms, I give A to you because I expect B in return, B usually being money, but it could be a trade of some sort. In the gift economy, I do A for you simply because I can, simply because you need something and I'm able to fulfill it. And if everybody's doing that, if everybody's in that dynamic, then inevitably someone will give to me. So for every time someone gives, someone receives. So really, actually, I think it's a giving and receiving culture.
What experiences in your own life do you feel led you to envision the Impossible.com project?
I think lots of experiences in my life have kind of compounded into this. I mean, the specific idea came off one conversation, but in terms of believing in this way of being, I think it's partially inspired by my kind of very different experiences of different cultures. So I grew up in London, I worked a lot in the fashion industry, I still do a little bit. I feel like I've been at the zenith point of kind of Western society for many years, and I've also travelled the world and been fortunate enough to see how different communities operate, to realise how my friendships work, and I increasingly feel like the most valuable experiences for me are the relationships in my life, to the friends, but also to my community and to the people that I connect and touch with. And I saw maybe in other communities more of a kind of sense of community than I had in my own, and thought that's really valuable, and wouldn't it be nice if we had some more of that.
How do you envision the art community interacting with Impossible.com?
I think artists have a natural tendency towards the gift economy. I mean, not always, but many of my friends are artists. The kind of way I practice art in my life, I always do not for money, I do it because I want to. And I feel like the spirit of that speaks to a lot of artists. There's actually an interesting book called The Gift by Lewis Hyde, which compares gift economies anthropologically with gift economies of the creative industries.
When I approached you about collaborating on a giant maze, what was your first thought?
I thought wicked. I love collaboration. I love when people resonate with what we're trying to do and think of creative ways to communicate and apply it elsewhere. And so I was just like, how exciting. And then when you gave us even more detail, it was even more exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing it happen.
The maze will depict people throughout the city engaging in various forms of non-monetary giving. What sort of non-monetary giving do you see in London and in other places which you have traveled around the world?
I think if you tune into it, you'll notice it all the time. It's like little small moments that happen all the time, human to human, that we don't think of as a gift economy and we don't think of in that way, but it's just like an obvious thing to do. Every time usually you see an opportunity to help someone, somebody usually steps in and takes that. So I think there are lots and lots of tiny ones, and then I think it'd be interesting to illustrate the medium-sized ones, which is what also Impossible is looking at, which is still small gestures, but maybe a little bit more than we're used to. So the neighbour coming over to help the garden get fixed, the student learning a language and helping an old lady with her shopping. I don't know, there's hundreds. So look through Impossible, maybe take some inspiration and think how we can scale up such a simple human instinct to help one another, how we can scale that up to do it more basically.
With its mix of visual art through Matthew's Mazes and social technology with Impossible.com, what outcome do you hope this project will have on Chicago and other cities around the world?
I hope it will make people just think about values, think about what we value day to day. The thought process alone, I think, is powerful. Do you prioritize your relationship? Do you prioritize experiences and time, and actually how we're going to spend this finite time we actually have on the planet? Should those be more of a priority than monetary transactions, and how either we make more money or we spend more money, which is largely the dialogue I feel like we hear around us most of the time. So hopefully just a questioning of values, and then with that, if people actually engage with Impossible.com, or even if they don't engage with the platform, they just apply that idea to their life somehow, hopefully it will foster new relationships and make people feel more connected as part of more of a fabric of community.
So once I've finished drawing the maze, would you like to try to solve it?
I would love to come to Chicago and try and solve your maze.
Thank you for taking the time to answer those questions. For those of you who haven't been to Impossible.com, please check it out. You can follow me. My username is Matthew's Mazes. But go on there, grant some wishes, and make a few wishes of your own. Thank you guys, and check MatthewsMazes.com for updates on the maze as it's completed this summer.